Good evening and welcome to the program. Electricity has remained the driving force behind all developmental activities, which revolves around industrial, commercial, and household purposes. Distribution of this product through metering system is our concern tonight on Weekend File. And here we go. The procurement and deployment of metering systems were structured as part of the implementation Sector Reform Act of 2005. The privatization agreement stipulates that the distribution companies are responsible for the procurement and installation of meters independently to their customers and, of course, free of charge. Since the commencement of the metering system, the Nigerian electricity supply industry has faced a major obstacle resulting from the inability of distribution companies to provide meters to a majority of their customers. It is a fact that most of the meters installed in the last 5 years or thereabout were done through the now suspended advanced payment for metering initiative. Apartments without prepaid meters leave the occupants at the mercy of officials of distribution companies to work out how much they should pay monthly. This often generates misunderstanding between customers and the DISCO officials. Now, the rule here is to charge the unmetered customers the last undisputed bill. But whether this is adhered to is another matter altogether. Now, what is the problem here? Distribution companies are unable to meter all their customers, perhaps due to non-payment of bills by some customers, especially departments, ministries, and agencies who owe them billions of naira. Then lack of credit facility and what they call regulatory inconsistencies and policy shifts. What is certain is that stakeholders want to be assured of fair and accurate assessment of supply and consumption. Distribution companies want to be paid what is consumed. The customers want to pay only what they consume, and government wants to sustain energy accountability across the supply chain. Efficient metering system appears to provide these assurances. Now, how does it work in Nigeria? The issues of implementation, matters, adherence to the rules. We will put all of this into perspective on tonight's edition of Weekend File. We thank you for joining us as usual on your weekend companion. And first is the news. At the news of the day, the federal government has said it will leave no stone unturned in securing its waterways, despite daunting challenges. Minister of Transportation, Rotimi Amechi, said this at a Maritime Stakeholders Interactive Forum in Warri, Delta State, organized by the Federal Ministry of Transportation. Loho Abra has that report.
Operations of vessels in the marine world, in our marine environment, causes a lot of devastation to the communities.
In pulling the strings, in double taxation, in triple taxation, please be aware that other countries are taking benefits.
The government should urgently and aggressively improve security in Nigeria waterways.
Critical stakeholders in the maritime industry are apparently trying to fathom ways to make the industry overcome some challenges. The aim is to ensure the industry takes its pride of place in the Committee of Nations presently engaged in global best practices in the maritime sector. Having listened carefully to most of their complaints, the minister noted that government has put measures in place to tackle the issues of insecurity and dredging in the area.
There's procedure to procure a contractor. So MPA is making an arrangement to dredge Calabar Port and Warri Port. So that's not a problem. Where the problem is insecurity, and the government, you are aware, has awarded a quota of $195 million.
The bigger picture is that we want to get everybody working in the same direction to move the sector to the next level.
The theme of the second edition of the program is Implementation of Executive Order 1, Ease of Doing Business in a Secured Maritime Environment, from Elo Agra, NTA News.
In the meantime, the Lake Chad Basin Commission says it now has a global plan to address challenges in the region, particularly areas worst affected by Boko Haram insurgency. The Executive Secretary of the Commission, Sanusi Imran Abdullahi, said this in Abuja at the Technical Experts Meeting preparatory to the International Conference on Lake Chad. Musbao Dan Wahab reports.
Lake Chad Basin Commission has been grossly constrained in carrying out its activities since 2014 in the region due to the Boko Haram insurgency.
To ensure that we expel the BHTs from Bama.
Part of the responsibility to rebuild areas was hit by insurgency.
There's a global plan to address the challenges in the region, particularly areas worst affected by Boko Haram, as a joint effort together with all the member countries, northeast of Nigeria, parts of Cameroon, part of Niger, and part of Chad. So we will put some of those projects there as we continue to address the insecurity.
And as the Commission sets agenda for the forthcoming International Conference on Lake Chad, Permanent Secretary, Ministry of Water Resources, Musa Ibrahim says Nigeria's government is committed to the cause of restoring the lake.
The government of Nigeria is very passionate about the sustainable development of the Lake Chad Basin and is willing to take necessary measures, all necessary measures, to revitalize the lake.
The Commission believes that the Inter-Basin Water Transfer Project remains the best option for reviving the fast-depleting lake. President Muhammadu Buhari approved the hosting of a conference which is expected to be declared open on Monday by Vice President Yemi Osinbajo. In Abuja, Musbal and Wahab, NC News.
The 40th anniversary of the Nigerian Labour Congress is providing an opportunity for the union to reflect on its struggles, successes and challenges, as well as articulate an agenda for the next 10 years. Emmanuel Anyimiro reports that the NLC is marking its 4 decades of existence with activities at national and state levels.
Inaugurated in February 1978, the Nigerian Labour Congress has had a checkered history of struggles, prescriptions, internal wranglings and many successes in the calls for improved workers' welfare. In a week's time, the Congress will be 40 and it is not going to be a silent celebration.
One of the things that this Congress is noted for is fighting unjust policies of government, which is still prevalent even as we sit today. There is no substitute for a labor movement that is bogus and visionary, like the NLC.
As the NLC considers the future of world of work, individuals' contributions to the development of the NLC and the working class movement in Nigeria is to be celebrated. Emmanuel Anyimiro, NTA News.
Now, the federal government has taken yet another bold step by adding Osun State to the list of states across the country to run digital television broadcasting in Nigeria. The Osogbo switchover in Osun State brings to 6 the successful digital rollout switch. The pilot in Jos, the Plateau State capital. Anthony Folsing reports.
Osogbo switchover by Integrated Television Services, ITS, one of the 2 signal distributors, demonstrates its commitment to pursue the broadcast digitization project in Nigeria to a logical conclusion. Information and Culture Minister Lai Mohammed at the ceremony commended all the stakeholders for keeping faith with the project, singling out ITS for working hard to make the Osogbo switchover successful.
So I want to take this opportunity to invite all the players to join in this unstoppable trade. In this trade, there is something for everyone.
He said Nigeria is edging towards building the biggest and most lucrative free-to-air television platform in Africa. Liking the television revolution in Nigeria to the telecommunications sector, advertisers and content producers, the minister maintained, are in for big business. Governor of the state of Osun, Rauf Aregbesola, said the beauty of the DSO project underscores the Information and Culture Minister's position that there is something for every player in the industry, but was quick to warn on content abuse.
As free as this is, it can be abused. So, and I'm happy federal government being conscious of this has set up regulations to ensure that Nigerians are not fed with rubbish. You will have fake news, you have dubious news, you have violent news. So such material must never be allowed to get into this medium.
Goodwill messages from the National Assembly pointed at assurances to support the project to its logical conclusion for the benefit of Nigerians. Director General Nigerian Television Authority and Chairman Integrated Television Services, in an open letter to the minister read at the ceremony, showered encomium on the minister for his steadfastness in mobilizing stakeholders in a positive direction.
Honorable Minister, I cannot end this open letter without acknowledging your support in my other role as the Director General of the NTA. I assure you, Honorable Minister, that I do not for a moment take your support for granted.
The National Broadcasting Commission says 2 more states, Delta and Gombe, have been lined up for the next rollout. In Osogbo, Anthony Forson, NTA News.
Meanwhile, the present administration has been commended for ensuring that all Nigerians, no matter their financial status, have access to quality digital terrestrial television. Residents of Osogbo and its environs at the launch of digital switchover applauded the unwavering commitment to national development. Adebola Brooklyn Sunday has that report.
From the entry points to the venue are youths dressed to suit the occasion. Arrays of cameras were also lined up to capture every moment. The arrival of the governor, Ogbeni Rauf Aregbesola, and other dignitaries became a booster to the launch, where keynote speakers, including the Director General of the NTA, Yakubu Ibn Muhammad, who is the chairman, Integrated Television Services, highlighted some benefits the people have to enjoy, especially quality signals. The rate at which the signal distributors, Integrated Television Services and Pinnacle's Communication are switching on the nation's cities has been attributed to the political will of the Buhari-led administration.
We must also appreciate the Minister of Information and also Mr. President, who has really created the enabling environment for ITS to take these giant strides in deployment of free television across the country.
Some of the residents of the city ensured they purchased the decoder, subsidized 500 by the federal government.
It's a kind of opportunity that is very rare. Actually, you can have a set-top box and every channel on it is free.
Me, I'm very, very happy, and you can see many people, they're happy buying it here and there.
Subscribers stand to watch about 30 channels free of charge, which will then be reactivated after a year. Adebola Brooklyn Sunday, NTA News.
In other news now, a coalition of Nigerian youth under the auspices of Buhari, Osinbajo and APC Governors Continuity Network has flagged off its support for the re-election of APC-led governments at the national and state levels. Ibrahim Bello Gunda says the flag-off was held at the Arewa House in Kaduna.
The youth, drawn from different parts of the country, decided to form network for the re-election of President Buhari Osinbajo and APC governors for the unity and progress of Nigeria. Speaking through Muhammad Salisu, the national chairman of the network, Haruna Muhammad, described the current set of APC leaders in the country as the best option in the nation's quest for change. He noted that the development in the economy and the fight against corruption and dishonest leadership being championed by the Buhari administration are some of the reasons to support the government.
President Muhammad Buhari have met all these qualities and even more. His dynamism, visionary leadership and style set him apart from the rest aspirant parading themselves.
Some of the members reiterated their commitment to converse for support for the re-election of Buhari Osinbajo and all APC governors due to their high performance profile across the country. The Guardian revealed that the network Buhari Osinbajo and APC Governors Continuity 2019 will organize 10 million man march in Abuja with representatives from all over the country as part of activities for the re-election. In Kaduna, Ibrahim Bello Gunda, NTA News.
And in another development, the All Progressives Congress APC in Ondo State has endorsed President Muhammadu Buhari for second term in office. The consensus was reached at a unification rally of the party held in Akure, the Ondo State capital. Doris Olumoko has the report.
The APC unification rally in Ondo State is part of activities marking the 1 year in office of Governor Oluwarotimi Akeredolu, where his counterparts from other states and party bigwigs rated his scorecard high and lauded President Muhammadu Buhari for the confidence reposed in the candidature of Akeredolu.
You cannot go wrong. The sun will shine brighter on you.
This fourth anniversary demonstrates that the best is yet to come. They have not disappointed us. I saw what he has achieved within just 1 year.
Ondo State Governor, Mr. Oluwarotimi Akeredolu, thanked the president for his genuine interest and support for Ondo State, which he said has propelled him to drive the state to greater heights and to benefit more. The governor and other members of the party unanimously endorsed President Muhammadu Buhari for second term in office. The unification rally provided opportunity for some members of other political parties to defect to the APC in Ondo State, and they were received by the party's national chairman, Chief John Odige Oyegun, in Akure. Doris Ulumoko, NTA News.
Nigerian children are lending their voices to issues affecting the environment and the need for its protection. 2018 Health Week of the Pacesetter School in Abuja, students made presentations on the effects of climate change and the need to be proactive. Representatives of the World Health Organization, American and Japanese embassies in Nigeria, and the Ministry of Environment sensitized the children on their role in protecting the environment. Chairman, Pacesetter School, Kenneth Imam Shobo, commended President Muhammadu Buhari for his initiative of cleaning up the Ogoni land, while urging Nigerians to support government initiative in tackling environmental challenges. On water pollution and its implication to living things and personal safety and injury prevention. You are watching Weekend File on the network service of the NTA. The problems and challenges faced by the prepaid metering system and efforts to resolve the identified issues by the relevant authorities is our focus tonight. Do stay with us for reports from our correspondents in a short while, and that will be coming after the break.
A beautiful life and a great future is possible. Stand with Standards Organization of Nigeria. Avoid substandard products, electrical appliances with damaging effects, tires without DOT number, stuffed and rusty edges. They can cause accidents. 12.5 kg LPG cylinders used as cam gas is a disaster waiting to happen. Substandard cables can cause inferno. Other substandard products to avoid include batteries, electrical bulbs, iron rods, pressing iron, brake pads. They will only endanger our today and future. Join hands with SON in ridding our country of substandard products. Don't buy or sell substandard products. See something, say something. Call these numbers. Standards Organization of Nigeria. Improving life through standards.
Nigeria's Continuity and Progressives for Buhari Osibanjo 2019 invites all Nigerians to a national rally for Buhari Osibanjo Continuity 2019 at the Eagle Square, Abuja on 28 February 2018 by 10 a.m. We support continuity for these great achievements. 14 local governments freed from Boko Haram control, Nigerian military better equipped, continued peace in the Niger Delta, release of 100 Chibok girls and 16,000 persons under Boko Haram control, entrenching accountability and transparency in governance, taking Nigeria Nigeria out of the worst recession in 3 decades. Elimination of 30,000 ghost workers through reforming the civil service. Massive investment in agriculture and fertilizer distribution. Improving rail and roads infrastructure. The takeoff of the Niger Bridge. The federal government's new vision on the Niger Delta. Creation of 30 billion naira development funds. Ogoni cleanup. Mambila power plant. Improving Nigeria's international image. Billions of stolen funds recovered. Buhari Osibanjo 2019. Promoting the change agenda for a bright future for all. Honorable Amos Adamuyat, National Organizing Secretary, announcer.
We want to buy Indomie noodles. 4 packs, please.
Yo.
This is not my Indomie. Please, sir, if it's not Indomie, don't call it Indomie.
Sir, the taste is the difference. The difference is in the taste. That's why my brothers, my mommy, my daddy, and I all enjoy our delicious, so very delicious Indomie noodles. The difference is the taste.
There is a reason Africa is called the new frontier. What was once potential is now an opportunity ready to be seized. Once revered for our resources, today's wealth lies in our people. People who build the cities that shape the future. People who know an idea in one place means business in another. A generation for whom technology means there are no borders, no boundaries. We are the new lions in a brave new world, kings of the urban jungle. And there's a bank that puts the world in our pocket and the future in our hands. UBA, Africa's global bank.
Hooray! The Nigeria Labour Congress, NLC, is 40. It has been 4 decades of eventful struggle for better working conditions and advancement of social justice for workers in Nigeria. To mark this milestone in the life of the labour movement, public lectures and awards have been scheduled. Date, 26 February 2018. Lecture title, Labour and Governance. 27 February 2018, lecture title, Future of the World of Work. 28 February 2018, lecture title, NLC at 40, Yesterday, Today and Tomorrow. National Unity and Social Justice, time 9 a.m. daily. Awards Gala Night also comes up on the 28th of February, time 7 p.m. Venue of event, International Conference Center, Abuja. Come and join us, celebrate. Signed, Ayuba Waba, President NLC, Peter Ozo Esong, General Secretary NLC.
Our Anchor Borers program has created an agricultural revolution. In September 2015, we imported 644,000 tons of rice, costing more than $5 million per day. By September 2017, rice imports dropped by 95% to 22,000 tons. Our maize crop has exceeded 10 million tons this year, and through our rice and maize program, we now have 12.2 million farmers. We are now the world's second largest producer of sorghum after the United States, third in millet after India, and we lead the world's production of yam and cassava. We've created numerous plantations solely for the export market, and our plan is to increase the agricultural sector from 25 to 49% of our GDP, thereby reducing poverty and increasing food security.
Well, thank you for staying with us up to this moment on the program. Electricity customers in Nigeria complain of perceived non-availability of prepaid meters and the pains that come with estimated billing. In the midst of this lamentation, the government and the distribution companies claim there is a great improvement in the supply of prepaid meters. Now, let me not sound judgmental as Mie Ogidi goes to the field to find out the myriad of challenges and prospects in the demand and supply of prepaid meters in the power sector.
But categorically, I want to put it across that we do not charge meters.
If somebody tells you it's free and when you come, you have it just like that, it's not that way.
How do you get your prepaid meter?
I went to a regional office and I applied.
And when it was processed, I was called upon. And an installer came and installed it for me.
Situations like this reveal how critical the issue is when both the businessman and the customer always try to be on the defensive. Ministry of Power, Works and Housing, in its last count in 2017, estimates that 6 million households in Nigeria consume electricity, and out of this number, only 3 million households are metered. So the unmetered 3 million pay theirs through an estimated billing.
I will buy a card of, let's say, 3,000. It will take me like 1 month. But when they were giving me estimated bill, 20,000.
Stop giving people fixed charges. It's unfair.
In order to ensure that all customers are metered free, a progressive tariff policy was worked out by the current administration with distribution companies.
Consumers are classed in different categories. R1, for example, is the most vulnerable consumer. Their tariff is 4 naira per kilowatt hour. They must not pay more than this. Those are people who don't use just more than a light bulb. Then there's R2. Those are people who have the basics, TV, one fridge. And then there's R2 3-phase. That's you and I with DSTV, air conditioning and all of that. Those are the people whose tariffs really went up. When you flip it around, it's almost like a type of cross-subsidy. Let those who can afford pay more. Let the poorest of the poor stay where they are. And that was part of the incentive to force the discos to meter.
For instance, the Abuja Electricity Distribution Company in 2017 procured 120,000 prepaid meters, but customers still have their reservations about the availability of these meters.
Why are you not using prepaid meter?
Actually, I've applied, but it has not been given to me. I think it's almost famous that a sheet of this paper was collected from me.
If we just implant meters all over the place, then you cannot have control of the meters. You lose value. Meters can be shortchanged, can be bypassed, can be stolen. So first we must get the full details. And where enumerators have passed is the mass rollout.
Some of the distribution companies attribute the non-availability of prepaid meters to the cost of importation, but local manufacturers hold different opinion.
We have the capacity of producing up to 1.1 million a year, and this will create more jobs.
It is indeed a complex and controversial issue in the distribution segment of the power value chain, but in the words of the Minister of Power, Works and Housing, Babatunde Raji Fashola, achievements in the power sector are incremental and cannot be resolved in a day. Mie Ogidi, NT News.
All right, Mayor, thank you indeed for that background report. It's complex and, of course, controversial. Now, let's know what the situation is like in other parts of the country. Now, Lagos is home to 4 out of the 6 manufacturers of electricity prepaid meters that operate in the country. Their emergence is informed by the need for the availability of expansive market for its production. Musa Toliat in this report takes a look at the availability of local meter manufacturers, challenges, and way of boosting local content in the power sector.
Prepaid meters over the years has resulted in inappropriate charges imposed on electricity consumers by power distribution companies in the country.
It's the day that they want to collect bill that they will give us light.
At the end of the month, they will be carrying ladder up and down to disconnect the wire.
Had it been that they have disputed prepaid meter, all this crazy bill will stop.
This challenge is not unconnected with the inability of the power distribution companies to fund the metering process, thereby creating a gap that required the intervention of the federal government. The Nigerian Electricity Regulatory Commission, NERC, therefore, came up with a regulation that paved the way for the emergence of prepaid meter manufacturers to address metering gap challenge.
We are releasing the opportunities that lie in part of the electricity value chain, which is meter production, meter supply, meter installation. There's an opportunity for meter supply business by people who are not discos.
According to the Electricity Meter Manufacturers Association of Nigeria, local producers have a combined production capacity of 1.2 million meters per annum. These meters, they revealed, are produced to meet the specifications of the Nigerian Electricity Regulatory Commission.
General safety test to ensure that the meter can withstand heat, that the meter will not burn. That's the first test that we saw. After that, we saw the accuracy test in 2 stages, trying to ensure that the meters read accurately by sampling.
The meter manufacturers, however, want the federal government to place a total ban on importation of electricity meters. This is with a view to boosting their patronage, enhance their expansion, create more jobs, as well as stem capital flight in the power sector. In Musa Tolia, NTA News.
With the recent federal government's policy on electricity metering, which places a ban on power charges without metering, consumers in Southeast have placed a high demand on smart metering. Enugu Electricity Distribution Company says the demand is meeting the supply. Chiegono Aro tells us more.
The federal government has committed over 10 million naira to smart metering in Enugu district, which covers the 5 states of the Southeast geopolitical zone. The groundbreaking ceremony was held in Enugu 2 months ago through the Nigerian Electricity Management Services Agency, NEMSA. The spokesperson of the EEDC said the smart hybrid prepaid meters are user-friendly with pre-inserted microchips that will put a stop to meter bypass by fraudulent customers, which is the major challenge of the EEDC.
All our active MD customers, that's the maximum demand customers, have been metered. We are metering our residential and individual customers, and we're deploying smart meters. So the metering gap that we inherited is gradually being closed up by this effort.
Some electricity consumers speak on the challenges of acquiring the prepaid meters.
And most times when you do even register or apply to get one, it's not forthcoming. Most of the neighbors and friends that I have believe that you cannot get meters without going through the back door.
I don't think it's possible that EDC can give you meter free of charge.
The worst we've experienced in light, we hardly do get light. I don't know, they should do whatever is possible for us to have light, that's all.
Enugu Electricity Distribution Company, EEDC, has taken delivery of thousands of smart meters which are currently undergoing activation process before distribution. In Enugu, Chiegono Aro, NTA News.
Thank you, Chiegono. The demand and supply of smart meters by the Port Harcourt Electricity Distribution Company is still a subject of racketeering, even as supply appears to be on hold at the moment. Kinsley Amajiri reports that electricity consumers in Port Harcourt are concerned not just about alleged meter racketeering, but also the exorbitant estimated bills without value for money paid.
Residential homes in Port Harcourt and its environs still use old metering and estimated billing system. Attempts were, however, made in the 3rd quarter of 2017 by PHED to embark on the installation of smart prepaid meters to residential homes, which was limited to some few areas of the city. But for some few areas of the city where the prepaid meters were distributed free of charge, a number of the residents say their experience with PHED officials to get the smart meters were fraught with sharp practices, as they were compelled to pay between 10,000 and 30,000 naira to get the single-phase meters installed in their homes.
And if you request for the prepaid meter, they will say there is no prepaid meter.
Or someone in this area, first of all, she come, she will be, she will be threatening you till you buy an illegal meter. You pay for the meter. No, she will collect 30,000, but she won't give you receipt. But the bill that they are bringing, they are not after the bill. When they come, they will only bring an estimated bill. Okay, now we are not saying that here.
With shortfall in supply, electricity consumers are compelled to pay these fees to get the smart meters and moderate how they use the power or continue to use the old metering system.
Instead of estimated bill,
So prepared meter is a little fair, only that the tariff is high.
NTA News visited the head office of PHED to ascertain the company's measures to reduce the ugly experience of consumers in Buff.
Officials of the PHED were not available to respond to some of these allegations as attempts were made to get them respond were unsuccessful. From the PHED head office here in Rivers State, Kingsley Amajiri, NTA News.
From Lafia, it is still work in progress by the Abuja Electricity Distribution Company on metering customers for efficient service delivery. Joshua Ojito reports.
Awareness Forum, the National State government raised issues about estimated billing by the Abuja Electricity Distribution Company, whose franchise areas also include Niger and Kogi states, as well as the FCT. In July of preceding year, the company pledged to provide 1,500 meters to its customers in Lafia. To many residents, the initiative is not effective because they're content with paying estimated bills due to lack of meters, as others lack the awareness of how the process works.
No. My personal reason why I did not apply was because I heard about it and I seems not to be encouraged with the system.
We applied for it, but up to now they did not give us.
They gave us the process that we should go and write for the application and then submit it, which I'm preferring to do so.
Investigation shows the challenge is the same for other densely populated areas of the state, with the exception of Karu, which is the cash cow of the Abuja Electricity Distribution Company, due to a number of maximum demand customers who are willing to pay. For National State, the challenge of stability in the sector is beyond market issues. The government is working to provide the much-needed infrastructure, as exemplified with the foundation stone laying of the Lafia 330 kV substation during the president's visit and inauguration of injection substation. In Lafia, Joshua Ojito, NTA News.
Thank you, Joshua. Now, without mincing words, you now have an understanding of meter supply system in Nigeria. And our guests will be speaking to all the issues raised, and that will be after the break.
An unfair advantage that puts you in front of everyone else. Be the first to create the latest online trends. Be the first to make the news. 4,000 Naira equals 12.5 gigabytes to upload over 5,000 pictures. Sell to more people faster than anyone else. 500 Naira equals 1 gigabyte for unlimited chatting. Be the first to know. Live on the fast lane and always stay connected to a world on the move. 5,000 Naira equals 15.6 gigabytes for 50 hours of unlimited video calling. Get the unfair advantage powered by Glow Data Unmatched. Also enjoy free YouTube and iFlix. Dial *777#.
The largest data network, Glow, grandmasters of data.
Achievers always believe in 100%. Breakfast isn't complete without Chivita 100% fruit juice. Made from real natural fruits with no added sugar. So to be at your best, start every day the Chivita 100% way. With 100% quality, 100% commitment, 100% goodness, 100% achievement. Start your day the Chivita 100% way.
My father said opportunity knocks every minute. He used to say to me that even the rising sun is an opportunity. A man must give each day everything. I live by those words. Just 1 minute of one day can change everything. Every day he stepped out with the belief that today might just be that day.
At FCMB, we believe every day is a new opportunity. Let's help you step forward and take it. FCMB, my bank and I.
When you wake up in the morning before you start your day, breakfast time is Kellogg's time. For work and for play, for a great start to your day. Breakfast time is
with a nourishing Kellogg's breakfast, powered with the goodness of grains and 11 essential vitamins and minerals. Kellogg's makes a great tasting breakfast for all of us. So in our family, breakfast time is Kellogg's time.
So I eat Kellogg's for breakfast. It keeps me full of energy. It's tasty and nutritious. And schoolwork it's so easy. Kellogg's every day. Breakfast time is Kellogg's time. Breakfast is Kellogg's.
So give your family a tasty, nutritious breakfast of Kellogg's today. Now also available at just 15 naira.
Breakfast time is Kellogg's time.
During a successful meeting between the organizers of the first National Grassroots Sports Festival, Sports for All, with stakeholders who requested for shift in date and subsequent presentation at the National Council on Sports meeting, the first National Grassroots Sports Festival, Sports for All, has been shifted to 19th to 29th of April 2018. Venue, National Stadium, Abuja, packages A and B. This is an opportunity for state government, public and private organizations, companies and individuals to promote their achievements and brand through the festival. For broadcast sponsorship, contact Angelo Peter I. Elosia, Chairman and Chief Coordinator, or Nick Oyinsi. Organizers, Grassroots International Sports Academy and LOP Worldwide Television. Endorsed by the Federal Ministry of Youth and Sports Development. Broadcast partner, NTA, the largest television network in Africa.
Now, joining me now to discuss the issues surrounding meter supply in Nigeria is the corporate communications head, Abuja Electricity Distribution Company, in the person of Mr. Oyebode Fadibe. Mr. Fadibe, you're welcome to Weekend File.
Thank you very much.
Now,
nice for having me.
Yes, this has become a lingering issue since the adoption of metering system in Nigeria. But what is actually responsible for the slow pace in meter distribution in Nigeria?
Thank you very much for that wonderful question. It's one question that customers have been very concerned about. I think a similar question is the issue of the availability of power supply. But let's address the issue of metering. It's not coming at the pace customers expect it to be, principally because of the issue of liquidity. Liquidity is one of the issues that is at the center of power supply problem.
Explain the liquidity.
Now, liquidity in very, very simple word is the money available for investment in the power sector. In a very simple word, what amount of money do we have, or what amount of money does the investor have to put into the supply of meter? Meter come through the distribution companies. I mean, if you look at the value chain from the gas supplier to the gencos to the transmission company and then the distribution company, the kind of meter that you are talking about is the meter that is used by the customers at home. It is the distribution companies that supply it. The question is, what is the amount of money available to them to provide for meter? Yeah,
now,
exactly.
Before the agreement was signed by these companies, did they know the enormity of supplying meters to their customers?
There is no doubt about that. In terms of doing analysis of the business, of course, they are quite conscious of that. But again, we must also appreciate the fact that there was a background. We must not forget our history. Before the investors came in, the metering gap was quite wide. And it's not, even if you have all the funds today, it's not something that you can say that you can provide within the space of time that we have started privatization. That is, again, added to the fact that the liquidity in the sector, again, let me use the simple language, the money available to the distribution company is not enough. That's the truth.
You see, because we're talking about the customers here.
Yes.
You know who pay for electricity supply.
Exactly.
And as a distribution company, you were aware ever before the signing of the agreement that this issue will come up.
Yes.
What was the measures that you put in place, before getting into it in this first
Now, let's understand this issue clearly. By the time the investors were coming in, at least let's take Abuja Electricity, because I know of Abuja Electricity much more than I know of any other disco. By the time the investors were coming in, the model that Nigeria adopted was the New Delhi model, which is in India. And that model admits of a situation where government will take up certain responsibilities and the discos themselves will also take up certain responsibilities. Now, that responsibility essentially has to do with funding. If government goes ahead to say we put in the entire cost on the customer, of course there will be some bit of challenge, but that has not been there. So what is supposed to be done at that point in time is also not there, and government is not charging the exact tariff that is called cost reflective tariff that will enable the investor to recoup and then put investment. There is this argument going on. Which one should come first, the egg or the chicken? Give me the right money and I will provide the service. But the customers are saying, give me the service and I will pay the money for it.
Now that liquidity is the main issue here.
Yes.
Now, would you suggest advanced metering implementation initiative? Would you like that to come back? Because we hear that it's not been operational for a while now.
Initially, one of the intervention scheme of government to address the metering problem was what is called CAPME, and I'm sure that's what you are talking about, yeah. Credit Advance for a Metering Initiative. Now, at a point in time, government in its wisdom felt, okay, look, let's terminate this program and let the discos run their show themselves. Whatever intervention scheme that will enable this problem to be solved, there is no problem about that. Let's take, for instance, what government has done with the generating companies. Government initially provided over 200 billion, then again provided over 700 billion so that they can have money to buy gas and then ramp up the production of electricity for the distribution company. So whatever intervention scheme that is coming up, government, I think that will address the problem, whatever intervention scheme that government is doing.
Now, one of your colleagues from a report we watched a short while ago did talk about the issue of a huge cost on of importation of this. But we also have indigenous producers of these meters. Is that sufficient? Do they have the capacity to produce a sufficient number of meters that discos may require?
I cannot speak for the metering companies, but one thing I can say very clearly for Abuja Electricity Distribution Company is that we are working with MOMAS, which is an indigenous company. We are working with Mojek, which is an indigenous company. And again, we have an offshore company that we are also working with, ZTE. So we recognize the local content aspect of it and their capacity to also give us what we require. So for us, Mojek and MOMAS are giving us as much as we want. Whether they can now meet the national demand is a different thing, and I don't have the capacity to speak about that.
Now, do you charge for metering people?
Not at all. Meter is 100% free
but
to
some people you may have watched are saying that they pay some money or through the back door, as case maybe.
I don't know about back door. I know about the front door.
All right, thank you very much. Now, at this point, let's talk about the contribution of Nigerians to make this possible. Yes. Some Nigerians do not see electricity as a commodity to pay for. Therefore, devise multiple ways of, engaging in electricity theft, through either tampering with the meter or bypassing it entirely. Yeah. Have you had that kind of experience before?
Now, that is one of the greatest dangers that we face in the distribution companies. People going to the network because of the ease of access to it. It's a major challenge. Theft of energy. Even when you put the meter there, you invest so much in metering, you put the meter there, you still find people playing all kinds. About 3 or 4 days ago, we had a meeting with the community in Abuja here, where we installed meters. They came, they made all the requests. We went there, we installed over 1,000 meters. Within a very short period, we discovered that over 21 people had bypassed. Meanwhile, these were the same people that were saying, no, we want meter at all costs. We now had to go into a meeting with them and say, look, we have an arrangement with the Ministry of Justice through the Office of the Director of Public Prosecution. Anyone found to have breached the rules will be prosecuted. At least for Abuja Electricity Distribution Company, we are doing that one very clearly.
How long does it take a customer to get a meter in Abuja here? How long does it take? Upwards of how many months or days or weeks?
Now, it depends on when you apply, and it depends on whether we have meter available immediately, because we also rely on what is coming
They do
from.
an estimation. How long does it take, ordinarily?
Ordinarily, within a month, we should be able to give a customer a meter.
All right. Now, there's this allegation, too, that the locally made ones are substandard, and therefore sometimes, it's faster and tends to read a fake rate and all that. Have you ever experienced one before?
I won't say that the locally made ones are fake. With due respect, let's be careful with the use of words. We cannot have so many meters coming from the factory without having one or two defects. So those ones are outliners, but we cannot be talking about fake meters. Rather, if we have one or two of them that have one or two challenges, of course we can highlight those ones, deal with those challenges, and then take them back to the network. Otherwise, we don't deal with fake meters at all.
All right. So all is not well. That's number one. All is not well with the meter supply system generally in the country basically because of the liquidity you talked about.
No. Now, when we say all is not well, it's a very dangerous way to look at it.
So how do you want to
Rather, what I would say is that there are challenges which are not insurmountable.
All right. Thank you very much at this point, Mr. Oyebode Fadigbe, for being part of Weekend File today.
Thank you very much.
And at least our viewers have learned one or two things from your exposition. Thank you indeed for coming. He is the head of corporate communications, Abuja Electricity Distribution Company, AEDC. You're still watching Weekend File. Don't go away, because we'll still have sports and weather very shortly.
They've already done us proud. Nobody will ever imagine that in any Winter Olympics, there'll be Nigerians there. And then for the very first time, I'm really proud of them, and I believe strongly that that's the beginning of new things that's happening in sports. And I believe strongly that in the next 2 weeks, we should be hearing something that we'll be all proud of. They are girls, and I'm rooting for them.
Here we go, Simi, let's go!
You are watching the Kwese Free Sports, UHF 32, for the fan.
Experience, they say, is the best teacher.
They hold us from the sea. Thank God that we came back home. They should not go there because it's not good. It's a very bad place. So that's just my advice.
Even now, sir, they are shooting the boat they are going to use to go Italy. May they stop it. Our country is good. Our country is a blessed country. Now I know our country is a blessed country. I know before I for not travel from Nigeria to Libya. I know how much I spent.
Let these personal experiences serve as a lesson to all who would repeat their mistakes. A word is enough for the wise.
This is a public service announcement brought to you by NTA.
Sports now. Nigeria's Super Falcons this evening got the bronze at the 2018 Women Waffle Cup in Cote d'Ivoire by beating Mali 2-1 in the third-place match as the country's power lifters arrived the country from Dubai with gold medals. These and more on Sports Update with George Gift.
The Nigerian powerlifting team